So the world is up in arms about Israel's attack on Gaza, as if Israel is attacking Gaza, when in fact, Israel is fighting a war of defense. It's called the Israeli Defense Forces for a reason. We've not attacked Gaza. We're just trying to bring our hostages back home. 48 hostages are still languishing. 700 days after October 7th, the silence of the world is deafening. Let's hear it in the words of Israel's Prime Minister, how he addresses the press with their screaming hypocrisy.
Despite Hamas's obstacles, 2 million people are now getting access to humanitarian aid. But I'll tell you who isn't. The only ones that are being deliberately starved in Gaza are our hostages. This is Evyatar David. Look at his hand, at his arm. He's being deliberately starved by these Hamas monsters. And look at the Hamas captor. Look at the difference. He's eating, and he's eating well. The purpose of this news conference is to puncture the lies and spread the truth. But that distortion has been propelled around the earth, almost the way that the Jewish people were maligned in the Middle Ages. Every massacre of the Jewish people was preceded by massive vilification. We were said to be spreading vermin to Christian societies. We were said to be poisoning the wells. We were said to slaughter Christian children for their blood. And as these lies spread around the globe, they were followed by horrific massacres, pogroms, displacements. The worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust. Today, the Jewish state is being maligned in a similar way. Everything that I told you could be verified easily, but it hasn't. And the international press has bought hook, line, and sinker Hamas statistics, Hamas claims, Hamas forgeries, and Hamas photographs. For example, these 3 children. The first one is Osama al-Raqub. He is in Italy getting treatment because Israel got him out. That's what he looks like today. He has a genetic disease that damages the lungs and digestive system. It makes it hard to absorb nutrients and gain weight, okay? So Israel facilitated Osama's travel to Italy, where he got the medical aid that transformed his position. The second one is Abdul Qadir al-Fayumi. He suffers from a genetic neurological disorder, spinal muscular atrophy, a degenerative condition that causes muscle wasting, weakness, and severe weight loss unrelated to nutrition. This was the real cause of his frail appearance, not starvation. In fact, he was treated in Israel in 2018. Doesn't help because it's a congenital disease and it defies most treatment at least. The third one is the most celebrated one. This is a New York Times cover photo on the front page of Muhammad Zakaria Ayub and his mother. Muhammad Zakaria Ayub is suffering from a genetic illness which you're familiar with. It's called cerebral palsy. His mother is well fed and his brother is healthy. I'm looking right now into the possibility of a governmental suit against the New York Times because this is outrageous. Of course, the correction was postage size. I don't know where it was buried. But this is outrageous. These are the 3 most celebrated photos, and they're all fake. It's the kind of malignant lies that were leveled at the Jewish people in the Middle Ages. We won't suffer. We won't allow it to go unchallenged, and this is the purpose of this press conference. I hope that you open your eyes to a simple fact. Hamas lies.
If Israel was truly committing a genocide in Gaza, it wouldn't take them 2 years, 700 days to commit a genocide in Gaza. If you want to commit a genocide, you do it in 15 minutes, you drop an atom bomb, and it's all over. That would be a genocide. But to be able to spend 700 days where we're sacrificing our own soldiers, 900 soldiers have died in search of the hostages. There were only about 250 something hostages. That's not a genocide. A genocidal army is not an army that would send text messages, millions of text messages, to warn of an upcoming attack so that innocent civilians would be able to evacuate. And a genocidal army is not one that would evacuate children with rare diseases, genetic diseases, in order to give them medical care. Any talk of genocide in Israel is an insult to the true victims of genocide today and in all of history. It undermines the very word genocide. It undermines the word Holocaust, and is simply nothing more than a tool of shameless anti-Semitism. If you want to see what's really going on in Gaza, take a look at this short video of who's really well-fed inside of Gaza.
والبلح بلح واللحم لحمه واليوم لفات رز ولفات رز ويا حبيبي وهم هم يغلب عليكم يغلب عليكم. المانجا مانجا يا ابو بهجت والموز موز يا ابو بهجت والبلح بلح يا ابو بهجت واليوم 5 لفات رز قدحت يا ابو بهجت. وراحن عليك يا ابو خالد، راحت عليك الخير كله كب علينا يا ابو خالد. ان شاء الله يا اخوان ابو خالد مش حيقصر، حيجيب لكم عامه مبرومه. يخلف على اللي جابه خسر والله مطمنه طعمه، ويخلف على الاخ ابو بكر بعت لنا مانجا وبلح وموز الاخ ابو بكر وحلب من عند ام احمد. مرت هنا ابو دقه بعت لنا حلب يا ناس.
Same exact tunnels, terror tunnels in Gaza. These vicious and cynical and brutal captors of the hostages are very, very well fed. But the hostage of Yatar David that you saw in that previous video doesn't even have any flesh on his bones. He's a walking skeleton. May the world's eyes be opened, and may the promise of the Bible and the promise of God come to fruition, that those who bless you, the Jewish people, will be blessed, and those who curse you will be cursed, because every nation that has risen to attack the Jewish people in all of history has disappeared into the dustbins of history, and every nation that has stood to support the Jewish people has thrived in every which way. If you think about it this way, you'll see that everywhere in world history, wherever the Jewish people were living in their largest numbers, that country was the superpower of the world at that time. In this case, it's the United States of America. The largest concentration of Jewish people in the world live in America. When it was in Spain, Spain was the superpower. And when it was in Germany, the Germans were the superpower. Wherever the Jews were expelled from, that country became nothing, became useless, became the sick man of Europe. Thank God for the great United States of America that stands with Israel in a world that has absolutely lost its mind. May God bless the great United States of America. And may God, in fact, bless all the nations of the world, all the Gentiles of the world, to be able to see the light so that they too can be blessed, that they too can stand with God, with the promised land, with the people of Israel, with the Jewish people, and to stand to the Bible, so that all of humanity will be able to be blessed with extraordinary blessings, so that we can all together live in peace and in harmony.